and I'm chasing this guy, and it's insane. I mean, he is cutting up through traffic. He's running red lights, driving on the sidewalk, running over trash bags. Like it, this guy's running like he's got 100 kilos in the car. Like he is running for his life. So our dealership, we're located in Jefferson, Georgia. We specialize in diesel trucks. We've got almost 80. But occasionally I'm a car guy, so I buy random stuff. We'll have M5, Black Lincoln Navigator, stuff like that. Me and my father own it. I basically run everything. My dad's kind of background guy. He helps with business finance and things like that, or credit cards. I had a Lincoln Navigator that I sold probably 6 months ago. We're a big dealership, so we offer some financing, stuff like that. We mostly specialize in diesel trucks, but occasionally we get some oddball stuff. So we sold it to this guy. Had some issues, obviously, to get to the point of repossession. And I like to tell people, whoever, when they finance, like, hey, if you run into a hard spot or whatever it is, just let us know. We like to work with you. We understand sometimes things can get hard. But yeah, he just kind of ghosted us on multiple occasions. I had a good friend of mine also reach out to him. They were from the same country, so they could kind of speak the same language. Thought maybe that would get him on board. And then after that, he just completely stopped answering for 3-4 weeks. So that same buddy grew up in New York. And he was like, hey, if you go, I'll go with you. Originally, we put a tracker in the vehicle. It got disabled, so there was no more tracker in the car. So it's somewhere in New York City, in between Queens, Long Island, stuff like that. So we bought tickets. I bought him a ticket right before flying up there. We were trying to get a rental car. Couldn't find anything. For whatever reason, just no rentals available in New York. So I hopped on the auction, saw what was running no reserve, and I bought like a 2010 Camry. I mean, it's New York Camry, every panel's got a dent in it, 150,000 miles, $1,800. So I was like, sweet, just buy it, sell it when I get back. So we ended up buying that. We flew in. It was a Thursday around 3 o'clock is when we landed. We got an Uber, went over to pick up the Camry. This nice little dealership just outside, kind of in between Queens and Long Island. And we go out there, and the owner's there, and we're like, so, man, what do you think about the Camry? Is it going to get us around? He's like, she's struggling a little bit. So we go in there, try to fire it up. Battery's dead. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll jump it off. So we get it jumped off. We hop in it, start driving. I think we make it maybe 4 blocks, and it dies. So we get out, have to push it over. There's like some parking available on the side street. So we, push it over to the side. And I was like, hey, any mechanics here? And he's like, yeah, I lived here for 16 years. And he looks, he's like, man, my main mechanic's like a mile away. Bring it over there. Some Hispanic guy. Hour later, $140, running like a dream. Hop in it, and she runs smooth. AC's cold. So we start getting to work on trying to find this guy. We obviously have a lot of different addresses. Kind of seems to be the common theme, unfortunately. And they're all over the place. Anything in New York is an hour away. Like if you're driving to New York, it's far. If it's 5 miles, it's an hour. So we go address to address, and we're going into these areas where it's, a lot of Hispanics. So I'm going with my buddy, and we eventually just have to separate because he keeps telling me everybody thinks I'm ICE when I'm pulling up there. So we end up separating, and he's scoping out. The guy is a limousine driver. So we know he's in between JFK, LaGuardia, stuff like that. Obviously, I was able to see some bank statements so I could see exactly what type of rides he was doing. It's also a black label, Lincoln Navigator, kind of tell the clientele he has. So we start planning maybe to pick him up, start sitting at the airport. Should we sit at these addresses overnight? There's a lot of different options. And everywhere you look in New York City, there's a black Lincoln Navigator. Like that has to be the most common vehicle in New York is a black Lincoln Navigator. We start scoping out. We spend pretty much till like 2 a.m. and we go back to his house and we're like, man, I don't really know what to do. We start looking up his numbers. Obviously, he's not answering on any of these numbers, but I found another number that looks like it's associated with the business. So we had my buddy's sister call, and we were like, hey, call him, tell him that you're landing, the next day at the airport, and see if you can get a ride. So she calls him, they talk, schedule a ride. He's like, oh, what's the flight number and this and that? Obviously, don't have anything. So we're like, oh, we'll just text you everything. So we texted him everything over, and that was that evening. So it was pretty late when he picked up the phone. I remember a lot of times when I communicated with him, it was like 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. He was responding to me, so I guess all night thing. So next day, she follows up with him. He's like, yep, I'll be there, JFK Airport, 2 o'clock. So we go there the next day, an hour before, kind of scoping out, stuff like that. It's getting to the time of pickup, and things are seeming sketchy. It's almost like he's kind of catching on, and things aren't really lining up. But eventually he answers, a little late, but he answers, and he's like, hey, I'm pulling up in departures. So we're like, all right, sweet. We're scoping out. There's like a little, thing that you stand on. You got your arms on there. Me and my buddy are just sitting there scoping it out. And all of a sudden, the black Lincoln Navigator pulls through, and it's there. Obviously, we know that it's the one. So it's kind of like the Atlanta airport where there's two entrances and there's kind of like a barrier in the middle. So I'm on the other side of the barrier to the very front where the exit is, and he's all the way where the entrance is. So my buddy walks around. He brought an air tag. So I was like, hey man, just hop in, throw the air tag, and you'll probably end up catching on. My buddy grew up in New York, so he's got a thick New York accent along with where he's from, his accent. So it's once you speak to him once, you kind of know who he is. So he went over there, threw it in there. Guy quickly catched on, and he booked it. And my buddy is yelling at me, and he's like, man, I forgot to activate the air tag. You need to go after him. So I hop in the Camry, and I'm chasing this guy, and it's insane. I mean, he is cutting up through traffic. He's running red lights, driving on the sidewalk, running over trash bags. This guy's running like he's got 100 kilos in the car. Like, he is running for his life. And this poor Camry, I'm just absolutely gunning it. It's maxed out. It's a little 4-cylinder. So I'm chasing him through traffic, trying to, do things legally. And we pull up to the Belt Parkway, and it's standstill traffic. I mean, it's just a standstill. I'm like, all right, it's perfect. I got him. A lot of people around, so that's good. And there's almost like a little access road in the bottom. But there's a very big, embarkment there. And it's a curb, so you got to have an SUV to pull up. So he books it to the right, pulls up, goes down the embankment. I'm in a Camry. So I kind of make a decision there. Car's already beat up, so I just floor it, hop over the curb. I land at the bottom of the road. Bumper kind of flies apart. Side skirts are hanging down, but I'm chasing this guy. And we're pulling up more to an industrial area. There's a lot of loading areas, stuff like that. He's making turn after turn. Every turn he's making, I'm losing him. He's, Lincoln Navigator's got plenty of power. So turn after turn, I'm losing him. He makes a right turn, and there's a semi-truck that's backing in to unload, so it's blocking the road. And there's another semi-truck standing on the side. So he goes onto the sidewalk. There's trash, bins and stuff, knocking everything out of the way. Pulls up there, and there's a box truck back then, and a semi is like this. So he's boxed in. So I get in the Camry, I back it up, block him in. I get out, and he's trying to reverse to get out of there, but obviously it's not going to happen. The Camry's in the way. So I go up to the semi-truck guy. I'm screaming. I'm like, you got to help me. You got to help me. I can't let this car get away. I'm not going to find it again. I'm not going to have the chance again. So I'm yelling at him. I go back and I turn around, and this Lincoln Navigator is coming at me full speed. He is flooring it at me. I can hear it coming at me. So I dive to the right. He slams on the brakes before he hits something, backs up, pulls to the Camry. I'm now screaming at the semi guy. I'm in fear. I'm like, hey, you've got to help me. Call somebody. I don't want to die. As I'm doing that, I turn around. He has got in my Camry, moving it out of the way. So I sprint to the Camry, hop back in it, pull it back up, and he's pulling up to the Lincoln Navigator within 5 feet of me, screeching to a halt. And then I look to my left, and he's swinging open my driver's door and getting in there, trying to put it in drive, trying to press the gas pedal. My windows are down. So I turn the key, and I just toss it out the window, passenger window. And I look back at him to the left, and a semi-truck driver has got out. He pulls him out of the car, punches him in the face, and this guy's on the ground on his knees. And, it's a white guy that gets out of the semi-truck, and he's just cussing this guy. Heavy New York accent, how those guys talk, and just cussing this guy out. He's like, don't touch that kid, blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, my buddy's at the airport, and there's an individual who witnessed kind of what was happening and, logically knew what it was. And he's like, man, hop in. I'm going after him. So they hopped in. He had my location, so he pulls up not too long after. Obviously I walk up to the guy, and he's like, why are you chasing me, this and that? I was like, why are you running like that? First of all, I don't understand. If somebody was chasing me, I would have, came to a stop and been like, hey, can I help you? I wouldn't be driving the way he was driving. I'm like, I'm Nick. He's like, I don't know who you are. I was like, we're the ones who sold you Lincoln Navigator. Whole face changed. So automatically kind of backed off. My buddy pulls up. He's talking to him, telling him what's going on. The guy's like, I'm doing this and that. All the excuses in the world. Kind of arguing, going back and forth. We're telling him, we're like, listen, if you want the things that are left in the car, give us the keys. You can take your things, and that's it. That's how it's going to work. If not, we'll call a locksmith, get a key made, whatever it is. We have our repo papers. This is now in our possession. So apparently he calls the cops sometimes in between, because about 10 minutes later, 8 NYPD cop cars pull up. They all get out, talk to us. We show us documentation, stuff like that. And very quickly they told him to get his things and get the hell out of there. And then afterwards we took possession and got our Lincoln Navigator back. And that was 3 o'clock the next day. So less than 24 hours we had got the car, and it was done deal. Just judging by all the other things that I don't necessarily want to mention, he probably was doing not so legal activities. So maybe he has other enemies somewhere else. So that's all I can assume, yeah. So it's third-party finance, and it was a force. We do offer buy here, pay here. Very rare. We don't do it a lot. Very picky with those customers. But this was third-party finance that had some terms that if you don't follow through with those terms, or the customer doesn't follow through with those terms, that I can come back on the selling dealership and not the lender. So that was that case.
The Ticket Clinic just launched a brand new podcast, so click the bubble on your screen or the link in the description to subscribe now and get all of Mark Gold's great expertise. And of course, the Ticket Clinic is still here to fight a ticket no matter where you get one. So check them out now to thank them for their support of VINwiki and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.